Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a Nerd Night Roundtable. With me is Mikey. How you doing, Mikey?
I'm a little bit feeling better. Thank you for asking, Resolute. Thank you.
Yeah, good to hear. And we also got Admiral Teague. How you doing, Teague?
I feel like shit and I hate everyone.
I can understand that. After
why lie? Hi, everybody.
Conflicted yourself too.
I am not crazy about myself either. No, I include myself in that. Hello, everybody. How you doing out there?
Yeah, and
you don't have to
welcome to
overdo
Stan.
it.
How you doing, Dan?
Hey, Dan.
Oh,
And Gorilla Capone. Hey.
That is a great fucking avatar. I hate everything in the world except Gorilla's avatar.
Yeah, and we love you too, Emerald Teague.
Thanks.
I'm surprised you and Bill can still function in the world after what you inflicted yourselves too.
That is kind of what started it. The things with the coven of witches. We're talking about the Acolyte. They call it Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars. It's another story of lesbian empowerment. We have two characters that look alike. One is named after the Office Safety Health Act. It was very strange.
They do not look alike. They are alike. It's one actress that they got to do two jobs.
Right. It's a Patty Duke Invisible Cousins thing. And they lose track of which one is which. Seemed to be what was going on in episode 3. Like, hey, Cody Guy. I would have to say that everything.
Hey, Cody Guy and Gap After Dark. Welcome, guys.
Hello, Gap. I thought I had said hello to Gap. But yeah, I have to say, after that episode with the weirdness and the witches that made less sense than a Dio song, but wasn't delivered by Dio, so it was real. It was like having your study hall teacher read you Dio lyrics. I've had nothing but nightmares about Catholic school since then. So yeah, it's ruined every day since.
Wow.
So Emerald Teague, tell me. So are the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte to draw people into a full sense of security? How it's going to be a good show when by episode 3 it's a terrible show?
That's about right. What happens is they know that at the first sign of woke will run away. So they try to keep it sort of like in the first episode or 2, they'll elevate the male characters and they'll set them up and they're like, oh, you know, they look like they're going to a good place. And then by episode 3, we'll find out like, we'll find out that like, you know, all the men have been fucking up. And in episode 3, we found out that everyone who calls it the Force is doing it wrong and evil. Consider that.
Yeah,
that was said.
Yeah, from what I hear from reviews, they don't call it the Dark Force. They call it the Force Strings or whatever they call it.
No, now it's called the Thread. To which I say, don't thread on me. Make that go viral, guys.
Hey, that was
like
that was
2 or 3 episodes
there.
They always follow crazy women logic. The first couple of times you go out with her, she's fine, she's perfect. Then you find out she howls at the moon every time that time of the month comes around.
Wow.
Then in a seemingly normal week, you go to her house and there's nothing but empty ring ding wrappers all over the floor, and her face is covered with chocolate, and she's like, "What do you mean binging?"
Yeah. Plus, the show actually retconned something from Darth Plagueis novel, which probably most of you heard, but probably not Emerald Teague. But in that,
they will ruin him when they get their hands on him. By the way,
but in the Star Wars rough timeline, Darth Plagueis was the one that created Anakin Skywalker from the midi-chlorians from nothing.
In Disney, in Lucas, it's Palpatine.
Yeah.
Well, it's debatable.
In
since
the
Legends,
it was the Force reaction to both Palpatine and Plagueis doing a dark ritual to basically swing the.
I don't give a fuck if wait. So we had So we had two guys get together to make Anakin, like we had two chicks get together to make these weird two chicks who look like Rick James.
Yes.
he's sort of an immune response from the Force to what Plagueis and Palpatine did.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what
Disney,
George
it's
Lucas
basically
intended.
just Palpatine.
I'm going to tell you what my impression of what George Lucas intended was. Okay, I wanted to leave the idea of Plagueis open because I thought that perhaps maybe with if you look at the dialogue, you can see there's a chance that Palpatine himself is Plagueis. So I liked the idea he could be maybe 2,000 years old, but I'd gone a bit too far in a few places. And what I did was it was a test tube baby with force enhancement. Hashtag #Shme2. I'm very sorry.
So I gotta say, then, well, if you look in the SJW lens, then Plagueis and Palpatine were the first gay couple that created Anakin Skywalker from the Force. So basically, that community had representation before the Acolyte happened to ruin it.
So what are you saying? This apprentice had more than enough opportunity to kill him in his sleep. So it was so easy. He was just like, "I'll just bring. What is that new sex toy? It looks like your lightsaber." No, it's definitely not my lightsaber. Don't worry about it.
And I'm just saying,
You're gonna love this.
I'm just saying that they can look, and the other side can look at that part like that, saying, you know what, we actually did have equal representation, but for over 12 years with Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious bit in the Darth Plagueis novel. But you know what? Screw it. Let's just do it with the Acolyte instead. Even though they had it first off 12 years ago. But
well,
then again,
McDiarmid himself is gay, so I mean that kind of comes across in the way he plays the role. He's not hiding it.
But gay men don't count anymore on the totem pole of intersectionality.
Yeah, they're only there to really.
They're below lesbians and all other types of.
Yeah. We're all gonna have to bow down to the vag. There's gonna be a giant fucking a giant monument of two scissors. They're gonna scissor back and forth in the wind, and we're all gonna have to fucking bow down to it. It's the way that Disney Star Wars thinks it is.
Well, I gotta say, the people that made this show, man, ignorance sure was bliss with them because they did not know about the Darth Plagueis thing and Darth Sidious thing.
Yeah.
I want to take everybody
who's ever read a Star Wars novel.
I want to take everybody who's a registered Democrat and force them to watch all the new Trek and Star Wars that I fucking watched to review for my channel and see what their political views are. Especially after they say they didn't like so. Especially when they tell their best friend that they didn't like it, and that person starts calling them a Nazi because they're programmed to not watch it and just react.
Well, it'd be a Democrat massacre. Unfortunately, that won't affect the Democrat votes because we all know they vote from the grave.
Here's the thing, though. All right, so we got a bunch of Democratic Force ghosts voting for the grave. What the fuck is going on with this corporation that wants to go broke, telling the same stupid story over and over? Like, this chick is Reva.
And hello, Drew 24. Yeah, you can't stop the dead. I agree.
Drew.
Hey, Drew.
Well, you can. You have to stab them or shoot them in the brain. We saw by the rules of The Walking Dead, there are ways to stop the dead.
Well, you can also cut off their head, can't you? You can decapitate them.
Yeah, that's but easy. Then they can still bite you if you don't get rid of the head.
Well, what you do is you decapitate the head, then burn it. That's what they did to most of them.
Okay, careful, Mikey, because if you do that part, then you get the Evil Dead movie from the 1980s.
Well, I agree with Drew.
I still like Ash.
Yeah. Yeah, they are definitely paid.
Yeah,
see,
sure.
Here's the thing I want to address about to Drew, though. Drew, they're getting paid, probably. I think that they're doing it because they feel it's a path to money. I do. But here's the issue that I have with it. They have vaporized so much of this cash that, like, one day Timothée Chalamet is going to go sashaying into some fucking place with, like, a half shirt on and be like, hey, so I'm ready to play Superman. And they can be like, oh, my God, the bottom dropped out of the woke market. You can't do it. And he's going to be like, oh, my God, I have to get a job. And they're like, yeah, fucking grossly quirk. Get a haircut too, sister. I mean, give me a break. I mean,
right?
this unsustainable bullshit. I think they burned off a lot of that money, so I don't know how much
it
longer.
Doesn't matter. They can, as long as there are unions fueling Vanguard and BlackRock through their pension plans, they can fuel it forever.
Yeah,
if not all federal and state and local pension plans funnel through Vanguard and BlackRock.
Well, I can see why pension funds. Why the fuck do pension funds want socialism? They're making money off the fact there isn't any. Yeah. I launched my channel 16 months ago as a capitalistic venture, and I'm doing just fucking fine. I give the people what they want. I don't upset people. I give people a fair fucking vote. And even though Biden wins every time, I put in the second place winner for the movie of the week. Yeah. I don't know how he keeps winning the polls.
Hey, Cynthia, I had a question for you. Now, are we talking about the Dathomir witches in this case with the acolyte?
These are a new. This is like a different Dio song. Only way I can put it. If you guys are of a certain age and you liked Dio, I heard him first in Black Sabbath, where the bass player wrote the lyrics, so that shit made sense. And then Dio had a solo album where he wrote the lyrics. That album's decent because it's Dio singing it, and Dio is really great, and he hired like a good band. But if you had like to read the lyrics for any song by Dio except Rainbow in the Dark, you'd be like, oh, whoa. And I mean, by the way, that's true of Ozzy Osbourne too. He needed a lyricist as well. But this was about as dumb and boring as Dio lyrics, but no Dio, no powerful presence, no amazing frontman, no magical guitar riffs. This was bad. This was just bad. This is a new group of witches.
And Mikey, and to answer your question, from what I see from the trailers and the TV shows and the reviews that they do online, no, they're not Dathomir witches. They're another branch of witches. The Dathomir witches.
It doesn't matter. They are all dead. Like 6
Jedi.
minutes. They all die. They're not Jedi. They specifically reject that, and they specifically talk shit about the Jedi being like a bunch of dicks. The Jedi are no better than the Sith. In fact, at least the Sith have the wherewithal to know they're evil. Seemed to be what these bitches were talking about. It was fucked up.
Yeah, that sounds messed up.
I can see it now. This is probably a prequel for how the witches got to Dathomir.
Oh well, we're before the Phantom Menace. So
yeah,
like this is as far back in. Is it that far? All right. So this is as far back in time as live action has gone. All right.
It's supposed to be the Old Republic era.
From what I hear,
they are just as incompetent as the New Republic.
Series.
They are just as incompetent.
From what I hear, the timeline of the Acolytes about 100 years before the movies.
Let me tell you something. The top line of Acolytes for 46 years ago that was called the fucking Heroes of the OT. They were the only ones I give a fuck about. The prequel people became interesting by the time of the last one because the third movie is as good as the first three. Maybe better than the third one. And, you know, the sequels I could give fuck all about. They're really fucking bad. I got enough on my hands fucking eating that big shit sandwich we call New Trek every week. Star Wars, you guys' problem, man.
What was the Teague? What was your thoughts? Have you said before what you thought about the Star Wars stories, Solo and Rogue One?
I really hated every minute of Solo, but I walked out of the movie feeling great because at that moment I was better at getting girls than Han Solo. I was taller than Han Solo. I could beat the shit out of Han Solo, and I was a lot fucking smarter than Han Solo. And that was something that had never been that way until that moment. And I was like, that movie sucked, but I feel great about me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I also threw away all Star Wars t-shirts and everything I had to do with it when I got home.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's dedication, man.
I tore off my fucking Red 5 t-shirt and threw it right in the fucking garbage.
Ouch. So
yeah.
I didn't think a bum deserved to have that on his chest. He already failed once.
So, so you destroyed all your Star Wars memorabilia because
no, absolutely not. No. That Millennium Falcon is still up there in my mom's attic.
Yeah, he's not. He's
not going to be displayed.
He's not crazy.
Soon.
Yeah, he's not crazy.
He's
got some collectibles left. Yeah.
I use my AT-AT to keep my weed and bong in. That's about it.
Well, there you go. That works.
That's a great use for an AT-AT.
It's about all it's good for. I was trying to light it with a lightsaber, but it couldn't summon sufficient temperature.
Yeah. Gorilla, how you doing? We hadn't heard from you in a while. You doing okay?
He's taking a nap.
Oh, I don't think it's a nap. I know he's been working hard, and
yes.
I can hear you now.
There you go, Gorilla.
Oh, no,
there you go, Gorilla.
So you guys can hear me all those times I told you guys to shut the hell up. Apparently,
you must have muted yourself.
No, I unplugged this to plug it back in, but.
Oh, okay.
There's a few words I'm unable to hear.
How are your kids doing, Gorilla? Everybody doing okay?
Wait, I'm supposed to see my kids?
Do you have them?
I'm just saying how they doing. Everybody all right? Yeah.
Do you have them for this weekend, or do you have them next weekend?
I'm getting them this weekend.
Yeah.
It's Father's Day this weekend.
If I didn't get my kids this weekend, I'd be calling some people some words that I can't say on YouTube. Or at least not on Germ's channel. I'd say them on my channel, but not Germ's.
Yeah, right. it's like give me my kids, you Yahtzee bastards.
Did you ever find out what the hell was going on with the world's weirdest copyright strike that had nothing but silence and some giggling?
No, I did not.
The fuck? I listened to that 20 seconds like 8 or 9 times. It was only a 20-second window. I listened to it like 8 or 9 times. Like, what the fuck?
I still got it here if everybody wants to see it.
Yeah, look at that.
Only one of them stuffed with hot dogs.
Something's wrong with YouTube today, by the way. I've been trying to do an upload since last night.
Really?
Apparently I got one view on all my shorts that I just uploaded, but they got like 7 or 8 likes.
Wow.
So how's that work?
Don't ask me. I'm getting gypped.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't know.
YouTube doesn't want you to get views or watch hours.
That's about
legitimate views and watch hours. There'd be twice as many people monetized.
Yeah,
that's why the Admiralty. Go ahead, Grill. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's okay. Go ahead, Grill.
Okay. That's about as bad as you do not get watch hours for the live viewership. I got that told specifically from YouTube. So, like right now, we got 12 people watching. They say they watch all hour and a half of this. It doesn't count towards your watch hours. It's the stupidest thing I heard.
Well, I mean, that makes sense to me because I had like so many strange bot swarms. Like their other thing is like, if you get bot swarmed, well, they're just going to wipe it out, whatever you were doing when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanted to address Drew 24. Yeah, I just want to address Drew 24. I don't know if he's been addressed yet, but I said that he said it was so sad that Disney had gone to the dark side. Trust me, Drew, they've been in the dark side for over 30 years. It doesn't surprise me that they get worse and worse every year. So
they limped over the line into the new millennium with a couple of good things. I think like ambitious mistakes like John Carter of Mars could like put a knife to their throat.
Yeah. John Carter was just a total Star Wars ripoff. It was ridiculous.
The thing was that if Star Wars had come out and just shat the bed the way it did first, John Carter of Mars would have done fine.
Well, Mikey, look, if you actually look at the history of John Carter came out. The book came out long before Star Wars came out, and they
like 1890 or 1920,
yeah, something like that.
that.
I perused that book. That he comes from basically the same universe as Alan Quatermain, almost.
Yeah. But my point is, is that
that's fine.
Well, Mikey, my point is, don't call John Carter of Mars a ripoff of Star Wars, because actually Star Wars is a ripoff of John Carter to a certain extent. It is as well.
Yeah, and a heavy dose of King Arthur stuff.
Yeah, but then I own Star Wars, the original, episodes 4, 5, and 6, and I watched them more than I've ever seen John Carter. I think in my lifetime I've only seen John Carter, like the movie itself, like 3 times. That's pretty much it.
That's about
I
enough.
don't have strong recall of it. I feel like I remember having a good time seeing it, and I feel like definitely if the Star Wars movies had shot the bed like they did first, that movie would have done better.
Yeah, well, I was sort of just telling Mikey how John Carter may have been a Star Wars ripoff. I was just telling Mikey a little history of the John Carter book series, how it actually came out long before Star Wars, for Mikey to correct Mikey that John Carter's not really a ripoff of Star Wars. No, it's the other way around.
John Carter is the Sydney Sweeney, a titular character of these books. There's 4 or 5 of them, maybe more. They're like Horatio Hornblower, but they take place like on Mars. But I mean, like John Carter gets like shot to Mars by a giant cannon or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a bunch of dime store sci-fi novels from.
But here's the thing: it's perfectly ready for steampunk.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Disney wants to do this, like, whacked out rainbow, like, fucking shit. Like, why not do it with John Carter of fucking Mars? Like, no one cared about it. Everybody who loved John Carter of Mars and their grandkids are fucking dead. Just have him be the fucking, like, world class, whatever, same-sex male Lothario or whatever you want to call him. And no one would have cared, and they could have just left Star Wars alone. Use George Lucas's kooky idea, and then we'd probably still be pretty upset because what I read of that was real stupid. But I mean, compared to what we got, I mean, nothing was worse.
Yeah, the problem was the problem was John Carter of Mars was not very popular or was not well known to the mainstream or to pop culture. So they had to stick with one that was familiar to the pop culture.
Overall, they overestimate how much this stuff sells. DEI. The whole gay stuff, people do not naturally take to. Not even actual gay people.
No
this
gay
whole
person
flag
I know like Star Trek
stuff. 99% of the homosexual population of this country hates those people.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be honest right now. I live in New York City. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of famous people. Not like well, but I've met them. I've hung out with them. I've done cocaine with them. And like they only had like they had great lives, like some of these people, you know what I mean? Like going out and like being like a nightclub entertainer or whatever, fucking like they gave fuck all about Star Trek. I didn't know any of them that watched Star Trek or knew anything about it. And they would laugh at me when I'd bring it up.
So Resolute, so you're saying that
Drew's got it. Got it. Drew's right. Hey, Hellbilly, what's up?
Hey,
Billy's destruction of good society. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
So as I was trying to say, so you're saying that the minority community does not like the gay stuff in the movies, like they hate that, just like they hate. So you're saying that they kind of hate themselves in real life too,
queer
sort of
culture.
This is limited to gay people who are willing to be friends with me. But not like you know what? But you know what my
the
friend
gay
said
people
to me?
I know, it's all that marching stuff and all the weird behavior, especially towards kids. They do not like to associate with those.
They hate that. They hate that, and they hate them. The ones I know.
Yeah.
Well,
and they're proud. And they're rather proud to be. By the way, that just really quickly, they're rather proud of the fact they militantly detest those people, and that they will go around making life actively hard for them. Like they're the ones who will tell you that they're in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they'll just show up at your door and be like, listen, I don't live around here. I'm not here to cause any trouble, but that motherfucker over there is. Like they do not take lightly to that.
Sure. Now I was just going to say hello to Alabama Hellbilly.
Hello. Yeah, Hellbilly. Yeah. Tell me, have any of us seen him before?
I know Alabama Hellbilly. He's great.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He says, no, leave John Carter out of this. Let the wankers create their own IPs instead of crapping on ours. I agree.
Well, the thing is, there was a John Carter. We're saying there was a John Carter movie already. It was a few years pre-woke. It might even have been like 2005. It was a while back now. They could probably reboot it.
No, I think John Carter came out in 2012. The movie did. I think.
All right, but woke is what 2016 to 18, somewhere in there is the gray area or the pink area where it starts.
Well, I do think that the big swing move was actually Ghostbusters that kicked off all this shit. It did,
and that's 2016.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kicked off all this bullshit.
That's when it went nationally.
You know what? I got to be honest. I don't know what Kate McKinnon's beliefs are, and I'd be perfectly willing to believe that she's simply their favorite person to pay to go out and say crazy shit, because she's kind of okay looking, and she's actually, like, I hate to say this, but Saturday Night Live isn't very funny. But when she was on SNL, she was, like, in general funny and funnier than the rest of them consistently. So I don't know why, but the Barbie movie was another thing where it was like, it seemed like it could be okay. For about a half an hour, the movie was all right. And then the character that she played showed up. And from that point on, the movie was fucked up as all get out.
And Admiral,
do you have any response to these allegations?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to point out. If you see what we see, Admiral T.
The guys from it. I've been accused of many things, but not that. Not until now. No, I am not Captain Kirk in disguise. Just my a really good avatar for an unworthy man who asks questions like, "What God need with a starship?" or "Why, Spock? Why?" You know, these are questions that we need to know. And what's going on? Critically Thinking is awesome, by the way. If you're not following
welcome
on Twitter,
Critically Thinking.
We have a celebrity in the chat.
And welcome everyone else on X.
Hello.
I'm wondering about the X and where it fits in, because see, I worked real hard to get pay from YouTube, so I'm having this crazy thought. Maybe I start my show on X, and then I go to YouTube and Rumble.
That'd be an interesting strategy.
There's this guy Crowder who does it. Hello, Connie. There's this guy Crowder. I don't know if you heard of him. He does that.
Anthony Davis.
Tell me, is that is the Crowder I'm thinking of, is that the loudmouth that does social and political commentary on his channel that's massively huge, or is that another one I'm talking about?
The guy's massively huge. I find him pretty interesting. I don't know how much he speaks for me, but it's an interesting viewpoint to take in.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get on the guy you're talking about. Is it the one I'm thinking about, or is it a different guy I'm thinking about?
Yeah, the guy currently losing his shit in a very bad divorce. I guess creator pay on X is pretty awesome, according to Critically Thinking. Covers his bar tab, which I imagine is not insignificant.
Critically Thinking has like 23,000 subscribers on X, and when he retweeted my show, it blew up on X to the point that I'm thinking, like, it actually blew. What I'm realizing now is, as I hit monetization, as I get AdSense, people just go to X to get away from the ads. They're giving you YouTube ad blocker without having to put an extension on your computer.
Yeah. I'd say X needs to do a little bit more. If they can get integrated.
They need to tell me the analytic. They need to tell me how long people watched for. They need to tell me what they wanted to listen to and what made them tune out. You can see what's live. but it's a little hard to track down. You can show up in one or two different places at the same time. I'm still learning on that one. I think they are too. It's got potential, but I'm beginning to think that I need to start on X and be on there for an hour, and then turn X off and be on Rumble and YouTube. Might be the experiment.
So, Admiral, do you have a stream you're doing tonight, or is your schedule changed again?
Well, we were talking about it earlier, and quite honestly, there's so much pain going on in this community and so much other stuff going on that I think I'm gonna let my crew take the day tomorrow and consider what's happened to them. And if I go on at all, it'll be briefly. It'll almost definitely be solo. JT Kirk is a Clobby Wrench. Snail is a Clobby Wrench. A lot of my panelists are most of my panelists are Clobby Wrenches and Doomcock Wrenches. Some have both, but I have a lot of Clobby Wrenches in my panel, and so they're really dealing with a lot. And I just I wish everybody who's a fan of Clobby comfort. And while I was saying earlier, he was one of the first people to kind of defend me as a legitimate Star Trek critic. PJ did it before anyone else, but Clobby was in there pretty quick too.
Yeah.
So
by the way, yeah. Oh, I'm back. By the way, critically thinking, I just found out that X is making your likes private. So now, when you like something, it's going to be done privately. It won't be public. I just found that out when I went into X earlier.
Which is good, bad, and indifferent, honestly. Because, like, for instance, there was a bunch of people attacking me in Doomcock's name, saying that I was promoting New Trek. And I said, I'm not defying Doomcock, and I'm not promoting New Trek. I have an obligation to watch the show for my audience. And without a tweet about 5 minutes later, which blew my mind, it said Doomcock likes this. So I think it'll be back.
Well, the thing is here's what I think about it. I think that honestly, unless you've seen a show or a movie, you can't really comment on it. You have to see it first, even if you think it's a piece of crap. If
Disagree.
you are still interested, right? If you're still interested in watching it to help your audience connect with you, then you do, and then you just say, "Hey, I watched it. It was a piece of crap," and I'm just letting you know.
In that sense, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, you do. There are movies that you don't have to watch to know they sucked. Like, for instance, like Madam Web. I'm like, I saw Sydney Sweeney in a Rolling Stones video, and she's hot as could be, right? And they're like, for this movie, read the age Sydney Sweeney did at 12. And I'm like, I don't want to see a movie with Sydney Sweeney. Fuck this shit. And that was it. And then the movie did how it did. So, I mean.
And that was it. Yeah.
You
know what I just found?
But you don't really say, if you're going to say, oh, it sucks, I have no interest in it. But if you're going to review it, go in depth, that's the reason, like, I watched a Garfield movie and why I'm going to have to watch Inside Out too. I'm going to be commenting on them, and so I have to at least go through it once.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing that I find is most of an issue that I had a problem with was people thought that and I prevailed on this one. At least people on my channel were believers in it. Is, do you need to see the movie to ask questions that have been posed by legitimate reviewers to people advocating for the movie? So I had two people on my channel, and I split a stream with someone else. It's something I shouldn't have done, and they liked Madam Web, which stunned me because I had heard Culture Casino's review, and I trusted him more. So I was just like, let me just ask you something. You said this movie's good. Is it true Sydney Sweeney's 12 in it? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right. Is it true that when Madam Web finds out
into a 12-year-old?
And then my next question was, is it true that Madam Web is reluctant about her powers and that she's like complaining and whining while she like strands people in the woods to as her way of keeping them safe? and really they're actually in a lot of jeopardy. And they're like, yeah, but it's not that bad. And I'm like, that just doesn't sound very heroic to me. And then they started yelling at me that I hadn't seen the movie and that I had taken too much from other people. And I'm like, but you validated everything I said.
Yeah. But let's get to this question. Do you agree that Kathleen Kennedy and Hedlund have created their own timeless child of what they have called the Acolyte Episode 3?
Yes.
Do you agree that
it was an inspiration?
Star Wars canon has been wiped out.
That was the inspiration. Whether or not it's wiped out is going to be up to the fans. We'll know in a couple of weeks. All I can say is they fired a major fucking Death Star blast at the old canon. And I mean, right in the prow of the ship, is Lucas himself.
Oh, yeah. Please.
The old canon is the old canon. Disney canon is just someone abusing something that should be public domain by now.
And I will think, oh, please. George Lucas, he'll say whatever he needs to be said to earn money or to draw publicity on his own shit, because George Lucas, he's an attention whore, and what I hear, he would do whatever he says, because he hates the other side so much, he would do whatever it takes to.
He doesn't care anymore.
The legalities surrounding his divorce and how much you have to give his ex-wives line up exactly to when he started making movies again. All right, that's the kind of guy we're talking about.
Well, I'm going to say something about the sequels that you mentioned earlier, Teague. I saw all three of them at different times, 7, 8, and 9. I thought they were okay. I don't think they were terrible. I thought they were okay. But here's the thing. At the very end of 9, I am worried sick. Because I realize now that Rey is back on Tatooine, you're like, okay, now what's going to happen? Are we just going to start doing 10, 11, and 12 just solely based on her, because obviously everybody else is dead, and that makes me scared, man. I mean, it does, legitimate scared.
They're gonna call it something like Star Wars New Horizons, and they're gonna do episode. They're not gonna call it. I don't think they'll call it 10. It would be stupid to call it 10.
Yeah, they're dropping the numbers. So
dropping the numbers.
Yeah,
okay.
so
they ruined that whole thing already. They know that's a dead horse.
Yeah, that's right.
Episode 9 is so unbelievably fucking bad that you want episode 6 is episode 9. Take the 6, flip it upside down. Yeah. It's a 9.
They got somehow they managed to get progressively worse with those 3 movies.
Yeah, and I'm on the other side of this argument with Mikey. I hate the sequel movies. When I first saw The Force Awakens, I saw it okay. But then the longer I thought about it and the few more times I watched it, I actually going to hate that movie because it's just a rehash of A New Hope. And The Last Jedi.
And that somehow is the best they can do, is a complete rehash of New Hope.
Yeah, they had to do something.
Well, if it was a complete rehash of Good Hope, it would have been good.
Yeah, and I would say that. I would say that the last.
It was.
And I would say that The Last Jedi, I just found boring, really, and somewhat just boring, really. And The Rise of Skywalker, I found it boring and tedious a lot.
Yeah, the Rise of Skywalker was triumphant. I felt triumphant watching Rise of Skywalker.
I found it boring and tedious.
A little displaced.
It was exactly what you're saying, but the thing is, I had gotten burned at the stake from the point that Star Trek 09 came out to 2015 by all these Star Wars fans telling me that J.J. Abrams only wrote bad movies because he had to write Star Trek. And that he was going to do a great job at Star Wars because Star Wars is easier and always was easier to write. And going through my mind is you have to come up with an Arthurian character. You need a mentor. You got all these moving wheels and gears. We could literally throw any ship into space at any place at any time and say, let's go to planet X. And it's just it could be any planet we want. How is Star Trek not easier to write? And I saw The Force Awakens as their comeuppance. I walked out of the theater they got what they deserved. And I go look on YouTube, and they're like, slapping their flippers together. They're like trained SEALs. So when I was forced to see Last Jedi by another person who told me I was depressed and I must be wrong.
Yeah, I also agree with Gap After Dark. Yeah, I also agree with Gap After Dark that from his point of view, because they killed everyone off. And in regards to you there, Sifdan, when it came to rehashing, I mean, look at it this way: when you killed off, do you want me to say it, or I'm sure everybody's seen the movie by now. But when they killed off Han Solo, I'm like, wow, okay, so you basically have Carrie Fisher in a drug stupor, basically living out her last moments of life, dragging her through two of these ridiculous, films. You gave her a tribute at the end of Rogue One, but I mean, come on. But, just the thing is that I think it was more of a dishonor to her memory than it was when you kill off, Solo, and you're like, okay, now we got these kids, and then we got, Finn, and then you got this other guy, played by Isaacs, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so maybe I can understand where the boring comes from. For me, like I said, I tried to have a positive outlook on it, but as I said, for me, it was more of just okay. That's where I stood with the sequels. Would I watch them again? Yeah, maybe, sure. I mean, if I'm bored out of my freaking mind, I'll go watch them. Yeah, no problem.
I love Rise of Skywalker. I watch it every once in a blue just to feel good. Like it's like drinking the tears of all the people who gave me so much shit. I love I found out that so few people love Star Trek and Star Wars. I love both. So I mean, I got beat down twice by J.J. Abrams. But when he came for Star Wars,
that's what we call him, Jar Jar.
Yeah, I understand that. I've known that for a while. But the thing
Lee Anthony, I've posted the YouTube channel into X chat. So if you want to come over to YouTube from X, the link is in the chat for you.
Yeah, and I would tell you this. I wasn't able to get through The Rise of Skywalker because I found it so boring and repetitive. I was able to get about 3/4 through the movie that I turned it off because I cannot take the movie anymore.
I was like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear at the movie theater in Rise of Skywalker. I was just like drinking in the tears and pain of all the people who had told me I was crazy for 6 years because I said the Star Trek movies were botched beyond belief. And they're like, what are you talking about? Trek 09's the only good Star Trek movie of them all. They finally have a Captain Kirk who doesn't suck. I'm like, get fucked, you goddamn loser. I hope Han Solo walks onto a lightsaber in the first movie, and goddamn it, he did.
He did it. Boy, you called that one.
He walks onto that fucking thing. Insane. He walks onto it. It's the stupidest.
He walked right into it. Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think he even takes a stride after it's in him. He's like, goes to hug Kylo or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
So
it's true critically. Yeah, it's true. It's only a matter of time before X is more and more prominent. Yeah, well, they've gone dark now.
I give it
They're actually fully black. Yeah,
I give weird. X 2 years. They'll be on the same level as YouTube.
I give them 6 months. I give them 6 months. They'll be there in 6 months.
I give them a year. I give them a year.
Just to catch up on like features.
I think he's gonna just like focus on it.
The whole monetized thing down because they have to do.
They're not monetizing anyone. They're not monetizing anyone. They're sending everybody with a fucking phone after us on X, and that's fine. It's democratization of freedom of speech, and I'm not going to say anything wrong with it. And I wanted to play baseball. I'm a YouTuber. I wanted to be on YouTube. I wanted to play baseball. You play baseball, you get hit by a few pitches. I got hit by a pitch. I'll figure out X.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Critically basically can call the shots on X and tell us what's going to happen with a high degree of reliability. Critically is a really good guy. And he does some of the best X circles. You should follow Critically if you're not already.
And Emerald, I would say that I mainly am a Star Wars action sci-fi fantasy guy, when it comes to the 2009 Star Trek movie, I found that kind of entertaining and okay as a Star Wars fan, because that movie felt
it was very Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars.
It was actively scoffing at Star Trek because in Star Trek 09, they recontextualized Captain Kirk retaking a test as to him cheating in the test because he can't pass or fail the Kobayashi Maru. Why would he cheat? Captain Kirk simply did what every student knows at every university someone in class does every fucking year. They say, I want to take that test again. And professors do it. High school teachers will let you take a test a second time if they think that, if you apologize for your effort and say you're ready to take it. So I come on.
Yeah,
well,
plus,
I like. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, plus, Kirk in Wrath of Khan actually said he reprogrammed the scenario to make it possible for them to rescue the ship. So did he actually cheat by reprogramming the computer to give him an option to rescue the ship?
Well, you don't get a commendation for original thinking for cheating. Obviously, what happened is Cadet Kirk approached his professors and asked to take the test again. They let him take it a few times until he wrote a paper to them that they accepted as a condition of him taking the test again, according to the book Kobayashi Maru, where Kirk has one aspect added to the program. What if the Klingons respect the Federation captain?
Well, you know what I liked about one of the few things I liked about the reboot of Star Trek was the fact that he was taking it for the third time when, his friend, Bones said, you've taken it twice and failed. He says, what makes you think you're going to do it a third time? And he says, oh, I just have an idea.
Fucking cheated. He fucking cheated. Yes, he absolutely did. The computer blacks out. Yeah. And then we see Gila, his girlfriend. They didn't have enough time. They cut the fucking scene out of the movie and put it into the novel. She fucking hacked the computer for him. The computer turns off and turns on again. And when he walks out of there, they're like, what the fuck? And he's like, I passed. And no one else says it.
Yeah, but what I was going to say, Tig, is I like the fact that Spock was the one who created the Kobayashi Maru scenario in the first place.
That was one of the few
I like that part of it.
One of the few things
out of force which should ever have time of the month. If they do, midichlorian pads called force absorbers.
Oh my God. Could you just imagine? It's like, I don't have the force, but I have these 3 used Deathmorian witch tampons. I'm going to make a tea out of them.
No, actually, they have the force dildos to play with.
Hello, Pleasant Valley.
And hey, PvP.
Hey, PvP.
Hey, PvP.
Hey, PvP.
And welcome to YouTube, Lee.
Do you want to check the backstage?
I don't know if we should let this guy out. I heard he's crazy.
Oh my God, it's LDG. He's
LDG.
Dig it.
Yeah. The soon-to-be inventor of Prometheus.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. You might not want to have him on. He might walk by with just a towel on.
Oh my God.
I missed my avatar that's in the shape of a middle finger.
Hello, Lee Anthony Daniels.
There you are.
It's good to see you.
Hey, PvP.
PvP.
PvP. He's probably testing his mic right now. See
I had it on mute. You can hear me now, right?
Yes.
I can hear you. Just but up your volume just a little.
I thought what happened was PvP was identifying as an American and holding off until he had something relevant to say.
Hey, come on now. Come on. Those fighting words. Come on.
Oh, I'm just messing with all Canadians.
Well, you guys usually do.
well, actually, Emerald, take here's another way to piss off PvP. Make him watch Canadian Bacon again.
That wasn't that bad. Come on. I didn't think it was a very good
film.
It's got
John Candy.
I didn't think it was that insulting against Canadians particularly. I just thought it wasn't. Yeah, John Candy is good. Like, he was always
Is it
good,
an SCTV movie? Are most of them in it? Is Eugene Levy and Kathy Moriarty? Is it Kathy Moriarty? What the fuck is her name? Kathy. You know what I mean? The mom.
I wish I could remember. There's so many of them. I get it confused too.
It was all SNL people and SCTV people, right?
I think there was some.
Are you talking about O'Hara? Catherine O'Hara?
There you go.
Catherine O'Hara. That's the lady. Yeah.
And thanks for subscribing, Lee Anthony. And thanks to Stream Elements for actually telling me when someone subscribes for the first time you freaking work.
It was Eugene Levy in all those American Pie films, right? As the father.
Yeah.
I love those movies because I think Eugene Levy's one of the best things in it because he's so funny. He's like, isn't he like the perfect dad? You know, we all wish we'd had a dad that cool that would like
American Pie. Oh,
well, yeah, he'd buy. You know, he was buying his son porno mags and instructing him on, the female, parts, and how to stimulate a woman or whatever. And it's like that's the kind of dad I wish I'd had because that would have been a fucking cool dad, I tell you.
My dad bought me a poster of Farrah, and I figured the rest out in about 2 weeks.
Okay, well that's close enough.
I think the problem. I think the problem with your dad telling you how to sexually stimulate a woman is the fact that during that process you couldn't stop getting out of your head that he's talking about your mom.
Yeah, I don't want to hear, and I don't want to hear my dad's voice instructing me while I'm having sex. Like, way to go,
yeah,
son.
Is that right?
Now really go down there and write your name.
Use the force.
Use the force.
Write your name with your tongue like I taught you, son.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something about Charlie's Angels. The one that really attracted me to it was Cheryl Ladd, not Farrah Fawcett Majors. So, just saying.
Well, we all have our own preferences, don't we, Mikey?
Oh, for sure.
Like, I don't have any single type, but there's like 4 or 5 different types of, it's like there's 2 kinds of women for me, when it comes to sexual interest. Ones I want to do and ones I have no interest in. And that's basically, I know I sound like a male chauvinist pig, but I'm just being honest, right?
Oh, really? I never thought
we all are. We're all pigs.
That's all
toxic,
of us feel naturally.
Toxic,
yeah, we're all horrible human beings.
If anyone says you don't feel that way, the guy's lying.
Whoopi Goldberg has never got my motor running. I'm sorry.
When she was really young, there's an episode of Moonlighting with her where she's really young and she's not great, but like you would be surprised how much better looking she is than what you think.
At that point, Mikey, you are setting the bar very low right there. Like, not only are we past the basement, like we're digging.
I mean, why are we bringing up Guinan? Who gives a fuck about Guinan?
Thanks for stopping by, Critically Thinking and Drinking.
Yeah, thank you, Critically. Well, you know what they just premiered? Yeah, you know what they just premiered a few hours ago on YouTube? Black Widow with Scarlett Johansson. I'm like, oh yeah.
What? Dude,
no. Mikey, a TV show or the movie?
Movie, the actual movie.
Scarlett wouldn't be in the TV show. She's 3 or 4 years
ago.
Yeah, she don't do TV. Scarlett only does film.
She doesn't do AI either. Seems like.
Yeah, well, that's right. She doesn't do AI.
She did play that cyborg in that Japanese.
Yeah, she's her.
Hey, she was great in Lucy. Okay,
she could have been the next. She could have been the next Alexa, but she wanted to bitch and complain.
Well, she could do the next Siri voice. I wouldn't mind,
No, they had her on the I don't know if you know the reference I was talking about.
She was talking about somebody's assistant. She was ChatGPT 4.40 came out, and they were doing this. They were doing this. Yeah, they were doing this.
You're hilarious.
They were doing examples like AI is going to turn into literally talking to your computer or your phone, and the voice they use sounds very similar to her. And like within days, she bitched and complained, and then OpenAI removed that voice from the. She literally could have been the most popular woman if she just would have kept her mouth shut. She wanted a few extra. As long as she was willing to not get paid for it. Yeah.
I mean, you literally
she didn't want it on her terms. Yes, Drew saw the movie.
They used her voice. They used her voice, and like you could have been the next Alexa, literally.
Well,
was that the one she did?
No, not for free. No one wants to have.
No, but
you would make money from that though. The money you would make.
They did it, and she wasn't making money.
No, but that's the thing.
She could give a fuck about that.
Her voice, though.
Hello?
It wasn't her voice. It just sounded like her. Sorry, PvP. Go ahead.
She has to walk through life hearing it.
I was just gonna say, even if she's not getting, financially reimbursed directly, she's still going to get all that extra publicity because people are going to go, hey, that's her, and then they're going to go and they're going to tune in and watch her stuff, right?
Yep.
And she's going to make money that way. So it's like,
it's that chick from that thing.
It's a compliment. I would hell, if anybody wants to ever use my dumb voice in an AI, and I probably wouldn't make any fucking money actually.
Well, I hope she's so bitched and complained, Drew.
I just don't get the. Well, I kind of do get the mega ego some of these stars have. It's like, geez, folks, when's the last time you went out and bought a loaf of bread? I mean, seriously, for fuck's sakes.
Never, probably. Never.
Yeah, probably never, yeah. Hey, right now I got my laundry. I got to go take my laundry and put it in the dryer in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I wish I was so privileged that I had some asshole doing my fucking laundry. But no, this is the asshole that's doing his own laundry tonight. My holiday laundry, though, so it's fun clothes I bought today to go on holiday tomorrow morning. So at least that, makes the laundry experience a little more, exciting.
Yeah, that's right. You're leaving for the Damned tomorrow, right? The concert?
Yeah, my cousin, I was in contact today. He's going to be picking me up, him and his wife, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., heading out to the airport. Guess the flight
Drew
is around...
24's got the fact, by the
11,
way.
11
That's what really happened.
About 11 a.m., we fly to Vancouver. We should be in Vancouver by 12 noon, basically, Mikey.
Well, that'll work. Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, we just...
we got 7 hours then to get nicely inebriated and lubricated alcoholically for the concert.
Lubricated.
Head down there about 7. With some good drink.
Lubricated.
Who are you seeing?
I don't know who you're lubricating, but I'm lubricated already. Okay,
he's getting looped
up
tomorrow.
Let PvP talk. Let PvP talk.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, PvP.
Well, my cousin and I are going down to see the Damned tomorrow at the Commodore.
Yeah, but you go to see the Damned.
And they've been... No, look, just give me a brief minute. The Damned have formed in 1976. 3 of the founding members that formed the Damned in 1976 are on the tour. The vocalist, the guitarist, and the drummer, they're all original guys from 48 years ago. And I've seen some of the stuff the fans have been posting on YouTube, and they look great. They sound great. I can't believe these geezers are so old and they can still pump out. Dave Valiant's been singing for 48 years with the Damned. When I see him on stage, the passion, the intensity, and the love he puts into every song he's singing after 48 years. I mean, he's sung some of these damn songs for 48 years, probably sung them 1,000 times. But when the fans are there applauding and loving it, he's right there, like right in their face, giving 100% to the fans after 48 years. And he sounds fantastic.
When you say he sings one of these damn songs, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, they're all damn songs because the band is the Damned right now.
Well, you know what's impressed me about the Damned now that I've been checking out some of your playlists there.
Oh, good.
PvP. The thing that impresses me the most is you look at these bands, say like the Rolling Stones have still been playing. I mean, I'm freaking surprised that they still have 3 members left of their original band. Jagger and Richards and and Ron Wood. Rest in peace, Charlie Watts. But
Ron's not original though. Ron joined around the late 70s when they did
he's the new guy.
Right?
Yeah, technically he's still an original Stone.
Well, he's close enough.
No, he's not. He's the third guy.
Yeah.
There are 2 other guys before him.
And anyway, what were you saying there, Mikey? Like, if you want to.
Well, what I was saying was I'm impressed that some of these bands can still belted out. I mean, after, like you said, after all these years, there are very few. There are very few right now that can do this. There's still
I will say this: they were fucking great in Jersey and in Orlando. They were fucking great. And Ron Wood
got
46. Yeah, and after 46 years, Ron Wood has got it down. He nailed the solo for "Start Me Up" for the first time in like decades of seeing the Stones.
Well, Ron Wood
he always makes a mistake on that one.
I'm
not sure.
Ron Wood
that would be worth a listen to.
Great player. He's a great guitarist.
I saw Judas Priest and I was a little sad about 10 years, but it was a while back. I don't know if something's changed, but I saw Heaven and Hell, which is Black Sabbath with Dio. They had to call themselves Heaven and Hell. And I saw Judas Priest. And Rob Halford's like 15 years younger than Dio. And his voice was a total wreck. And he had not made concessions yet. I understand he's made some concessions, but the best Judas Priest concert would be Rob Halford and Ripper Owens at the same time, or Rob Halford and like anyone, like someone else. He could sing what he could sing and then just pass it off to the other guy because, he was the worst Rob Halford imitator ever.
I could have seen Judas Priest like 30-something years ago when they were at their peak, and I missed the fucking concert, and I'm still kicking my ass about missing that concert because
I saw him a bunch of times back then.
Right? Yeah,
they were really good. He had like an 8-octave range.
Oh man,
question for the panel.
Yeah, but when you had what was Glenn Tipton and what's his name on the Twin Guitar Attack, like fuck those guys.
KK Downing.
KK,
they're both gone now.
KK.
Those guys were
so excellent and would make a difference.
Speaking of
KK.
Anymore.
Hey, Jerb, I'll be back in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
All right, Gorilla.
Okay, but Kathleen Kennedy has got how long has she got in the industry? She's getting up there in age, right?
45 years?
she's gonna age out, but I don't think she's
10 years for me. I'm gonna say 10 years she's got left. Probably 10.
She'll probably come back to haunt the legacy like a ghost even after she does die. Like there'll still be this evil entity floating around somewhere. Like how many
Disney's
years? I mean, there's a certain future ruler of the earth that lives underground. That you guys know what I'm talking about probably.
Yes.
He's been predicting the demise of Kathleen Kennedy for how long? What, 5 years now at least? It's got to be she's always almost going to be gone, and then she never is.
You know what? I think we might have found out.
Actual business decision. She would have been
think
gone a long time ago.
You know what I think?
Is a DEI hire.
You know what? I was going to say this, right? Maybe that's why, but I think Hollywood's full of stories like that one. I think Hollywood's full of stories of the terrible executive who never produced and never got held accountable.
I would say that Kathleen Kennedy will probably be reduced further to just a plain old figurehead with little to no power. She'll probably just go and say what the hell she wants, and there'll be no consequences. And she'll just be the figurehead of the Lucasfilm and the Disney division of Lucasfilm. She'll just be the figurehead.
I wouldn't mind being a figurehead if I had, $20-30 million in the bank they paid me. Like, I would be good with that.
Yeah, she's already put away money. Like, you wouldn't even need to worry. Yeah, she wouldn't even need to worry. And I agree with you, Dan. I think that once she becomes a figurehead and no longer prominent, there's definitely going to be a difference if she's not in charge. And she's just the poster girl for whatever's left of the Star Wars franchise or anything left.
She's doing it for fun to impress her friends with her rich white lady feminism.
She
is 71 years old now, so she has that many more years left.
She's done in 5 then. I give her 5 years then.
If she really wants to be spiteful, she could go 9 years.
That was frightening.
But that's the tops. That's tops.
Mikey calling Kathleen Kennedy the poster girl gave me a Farrah Fawcett flashback, and I do not want to see her in that same pose.
My God!
Oh God! I can't take it. I can't take it.
No.
Well, KK does probably have a lot of dirt on people, but thankfully, she has to go underground eventually.
She knows where all the bodies are buried.
Yeah. And PvP, Mikey knows how to make your mind miserable. He loves to do that because he has a dirty mind and a twisted mind. And
I blame Gorilla.
Oh, come on.
I've been exposed to Gorilla for a long time.
Mikey's a nice guy. Come on.
I'm a good guy. No, man. I'm a really good person. I just try to have fun.
What I really appreciate about Mikey, though, is he's a Christian, a total Christian guy, but he actually loves talking about a band called The Damned. And I think a lot of Christian folks would go, "Oh, The Damned! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Keep them away!" Right? But it's like Mikey's not like that. He understands it's just a name that the band came up with in 1976. Actually, you know where they got their name? They got their name from a film that came out in 1969. I forget the European director, but the title of the film, The Damned, referred to how the arms dealers and some of the people doing business with the 30s regime back then that I won't mention.
I believe the movie was called Village of the Damned.
They were damned by association with that evil regime, right?
Yeah.
So that's what
the
name
They never
refers
gave
to.
me my pension, so you don't have to talk about them.
But anyway, I think they just
13 years of work.
They picked the name because it was, they're punks, right? They wanted controversy in 1976, and that got them attention. So yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to do my imitation of Arnold Schwarzenegger from Conan here. You ready? My God, Mick Jagger laughs at your damned. He is 80 years old.
May
they roll as long. May they roll as long, PvP.
We should all do like an Arnold Schwarzenegger contest. I'm going to throw in "Get to the chopper."
Yeah, there you go.
Come on, Bennett. Don't
Anybody got another one?
For some pleasure.
Take a knife at me.
Oh,
Come and get me.
Don't
get me now. I've been waiting for you.
Oh man, Arnie's got a lot of great moments.
He's so funny.
I'll be back. I do have a question for the whole panel. Tell me, is Kathleen Kennedy a semi-figurehead already, or is she still in somewhat control of Lucasfilm and the Disney branch of that? Or is she somewhat of a figurehead already?
I think she's sent in as a figurehead.
Yeah.
She's just nominal control.
She's just more of a figurehead now. Yeah.
I think I think she's less of a figurehead than she was intended to be. I think what happened was they sent this thing of lore along there, and they're like, Kathleen, you'll make sure that it won't be some goddamn asshole making the movie, right? And she's like, I absolutely won't let some goddamn asshole make a movie. And he's like, and you won't go up too far in a few places. I'll definitely won't be an asshole. I won't go too far. It's like, okay, And so then as soon as George leaves, she's like, I'm gonna be such an asshole and I'm gonna go so far. Yeah. And she calls up J.J. Abrams and she's like, you're a fucking hack. Destroy this shit for me, like you destroyed Star Trek. And he's like, I'll do that. That's what I do for a living, man.
So
he was hired to be fired immediately.
So
Lucas probably thought, oh yeah, she can go in as the CEO, and Disney, they'll just get rid of her and put their own person in. And said, oh yeah, you got to be CEO for.
I don't know about that. Remember who her husband is.
Yeah,
well, don't forget. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, well, my statement is that in the beginning she did have power over stuff, but from what I see now and hear from, she doesn't have that much power anymore, if any at all. So my original question was, is she kind of like a figurehead right now, or is she just a semi in control figurehead that has some control over them, or is she just a pure figurehead, pure and simple, with little to no control over everything like figureheads usually are? They don't have any input on anything.
Chinese motherfucking fire drill.
Hey, what am I getting blamed for, Mikey?
Oh, well, it's no worries, Gorilla. I'm just saying that I love you, brother, because you're a big, huge influence on me, and sometimes I cuss like a sailor, and I'm just saying that's a benefit to you and a compliment to you, Gorilla.
Yeah. I would have been back a minute sooner, but my New Yorker came out in me.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
What
you're being blamed for
you
people
to
hungry
steal someone's
the hot dog
your
shorts.
hot dog shorts.
Yeah.
I thought he meant to stop to paint some graffiti on the wall of his house.
Oh, all they did was whip a U-turn on Main Street. Some guy he started yelling at me that it is illegal, so I had to flip him off and tell him to go fuck himself and drive off.
All right, so apparently no one heard my last question statement a few minutes ago, so I'm not going to say
we did. She is definitely a semi-figurehead at this point.
Yeah, semi
71 years old. She's not making all the decisions she used to. She's just there for the higher up stuff. Maybe 2 or 3 questions a day. The rest of the time, she's playing Candy Crush on her phone.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to address to you, Dan, is that Kathleen, think about this scenario for a moment. Kathleen Kennedy and Barbara Broccoli of Eon are both dear friends. Now, that being said, since they killed off Daniel Craig's Bond and they're looking for another, my fear, deepest fear, is that if they decide to put a woman in Bond place, then I'm really scared. Then I'm like, you don't do that. That is taboo. And
just fucking make a 008 movie.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Lee, and thanks for joining the channel. We'll be back next week at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you, Lee. Yes, that's my greatest fear, Dan, is that Broccoli and Kennedy talk a lot, okay? And if Kennedy is losing her power, well, unfortunately, Barbara Broccoli still has hers. And if Kathleen Kennedy gives her any ideas, the whole Bond franchise is going to be woke. And then we're all dead. So, you know, that's
Mikey,
what I fear.
Mikey,
Bond's been there for about 3 movies.
Mikey, I'm not familiar with the executive you're talking about. I know who KK is, but can you give me a reference on who KK's partner is? Like what franchises is a partner of, or movies is she familiar with?
She's married to a guy with a lot of big movies. Yeah. That's all.
Hey, D.
Okay, well, Barbara Broccoli was the daughter of Cubby Broccoli, who started Albert Cubby Broccoli, who started the James Bond franchise way back in the day. And he was with Saltzman, who was another gentleman friend of his, who the two of them together put together the Bond franchise from the books. They literally were following it from Ian Fleming. But what happened was later on, when Cubby passed away, which was right around when they did Timothy Dalton's License to Kill, because he passed away after he left Mexico City area after they were filming there. Barbara Broccoli basically was told by her father, I want you to take over the franchise. And so Barbara decided to do that along with her husband partner, Michael G. Wilson. And like Teague said, the last 3 films weren't that great. Now, I love Skyfall, Teague. Now, that's my personal opinion. I love that film. But like the last 2, Spectre and No Time to Die didn't do so well. And they were a bit woke because they had a few women in there and stuff. But still, it's a Bond film. And, Daniel Craig still got to play the role. It's a male role. So I was happy with that. But we did get inklings from No Time to Die. Lashana Lynch was a black lady who, was 007 for a time until she rightfully said, oh, no, this belongs to James. Let James have it. So he got his number back. And what I'm worried about is that Barbara Broccoli, like I said, is huge friends with Kathleen Kennedy. And I think Kathleen Kennedy has already run Star Wars into the ground. It's obvious. But my fear, like I said, is Barbara Broccoli could run the James Bond franchise into the ground. And if she does that, then there's nothing else worthy to watch. There isn't, because there won't be anything.
Well, Mikey, I never really was a big James Bond fan. I mean, I have seen bits and pieces of all the movies, but I wasn't really a big James Bond fan.
Yeah. That's fine.
So I'm going in blind roughly with the James Bond franchise, in other words. But from what I hear,
the old ones first.
But from what I hear, from both of you, the last few movies of the James Bond franchise were disappointments, to say, well, the best, or is that the worst to say about them? They were disappointments, or is that the best to say about them?
They weren't the worst. They weren't the worst or most terrible. In fact, the last 3 films have made more money than most of the original films combined. So, the first ones with Connery and so forth. It's just, but nowadays it's like that's all that people care about. If the film makes money, then it's favored. Then it's great. But what if it's a good movie and yet it doesn't make a lot of money? Well, then there's your detractors. There's your people that say like, "Oh, it's crap," or "Oh, it was okay. I loved it, but it didn't make a lot of money," and now it goes immediately to video. There have been plenty of examples of films like that were fantastic, but then they didn't do well in the box office. It didn't make it a lot of money, and so they went straight to video, and now they're making video sales. So,
Mikey, you probably don't count the James Bond movies as not making much money, but tell me, do you take into account inflation of those movies, or not really, to make margins of how much they make? If they were.
Well, don't forget they've been having money issues ever since. Well, I mean, you could go back to 1995, for 6 years between when they did Dalton in '89 with License to Kill, and then they did Pierce Brosnan with GoldenEye in 1995. Yeah. There was bankruptcy proceedings. Everything was going wrong. And then all of a sudden Sony said, "Oh, here I am, magical Japanese Sony. I'm going to jump in and save you all." And that's what they did.
But they're at least
more a cost benefit. Film. The old ones didn't cost a whole company. Lot. But these new ones, they're costing just as much as any movie. So the percentage on return, these new ones are making a whole bunch more money, but they're making a less percentage-wise. A whole lot less.
Yeah, Joe's right.
And welcome. Thanks for subscribing, Mass. I don't know how to say that word.
Miskatonic Madman.
Miskatonic Madman. Hey, what's up, buddy?
And there's D. Odyssey.
I
hey,
see you out there. And hello, Miskatonic.
And welcome, Deej.
Really? What up, people? Really, Deej? WandaVision? Oh, come on.
So, tell me, from what I hear from the both of you that are James Bond fans, old school James Bond fans were not made for very much money, but nowadays they're paid through the nose money wise. Why is that? For special effects or for the actors behind the scenes that play big roles that want a lot more money, or what?
I think it still costs less than like a tentpole sci-fi movie, because remember, their sets are still going to be Earth, so they could span the globe a little less or whatever. But we've seen some Bond movies where they don't really go to New York; it's just B-roll and shit like that. But I don't know. Like, this desire to have a female Bond goes at least as far back as that last Pierce Brosnan movie with Halle Berry.
Yeah, well, my question was
that was just failure to launch on that franchise. They were gonna do that with the American team.
Yeah, well, my question was, what makes these new James Bond movies so expensive? Because from what I hear from you guys, the old ones were actually made relatively cheaply, but these new movies are now an arm and a leg expense-wise. Why is that?
The disappearance of the middle tier budget movie. It's only blockbuster or slummer. There's nothing in the middle now. When Jeremy and I would go to movies, and if he's anywhere close to my age, but there was a time when I could go to the movie theater, and if there were 6 movies at the theater, like there'd be like 2 movies that would be like for mom and dad, like real, like Mr. and Mrs. Bridge or something, like this serious shit with serious stuff and a lot of real sobering things, and then there would be like an adventure movie that like the whole family could kind of like, and maybe Back to the Future would be playing, and like something wacky like Transylvania 65000. So there were movies that didn't cost as much as the other ones that they would just like, they would hang around in the theaters longer because there was just like, it took longer to make movies, I guess, back then, and movies were in general better. So like you could have a movie like Transylvania 65000, which is like a niche movie, and you could have a multiplex. You play it in like one theater like twice a day, and you're gonna make your money. And that's they don't even consider that anymore, because what happens is Disney buys out the screens. So when I went to see, I think it was the re-release of Return of the Jedi, at the same time the Marvels had tanked like a month before, and all the shit was in the theater for it, and all the theaters were like, so like blocked out. They couldn't show anything else. It was just empty theaters showing the Marvels in like 4 theaters out of 8.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I wanted to say to you, Dan, that if you really take a look at just after, like I said, after Brosnan finished his stint as Bond in Die Another Day in 2002, and you wait those 4 years and you go to 2006 where you have Daniel Craig for the first time in Casino Royale, take a look at all of those, and I mean this sincerely, read the end credits of every single film that Craig did starting with Casino Royale, and you're going to see a lot more CGI rather than practical effects or visual. I guarantee
At the end of every Daniel Craig movie, I would like them to change it to Daniel Craig's James Bond. It should say, James Bond will return as a good character when we find a better actor.
I agree, Teague. I agree. Yes. I agree with that statement. Yes, I do. But that's what I mean, Dan. It's gotten more expensive mostly because of the CGI. I mentioned this in my James Bond franchise stream last year, that CGI, if it works with the plot and the storyline, and if you have an equal amount of not just the CGI but practical effects and visual as well, then the film should succeed. It should. I mean, it won't most of the time, but sometimes it will. And that's the problem, is that I believe the writers gave up midway through the Daniel Craig era and decided, CGI is going to do everything and do wonders, and we don't have to write shit. We don't have to write a lot of stuff for Bond to do. He's just going to do this and this and this, and that's that, and no other problems. That took a lot away from the Bond films. Now, saying that, I do still like them. It's just that it's a little more disappointing after Brosnan finished his stint. So, and I like that. I loved more. Lazenby's got his one big moment in time. And then I loved Sean Connery, and and then Pierce had his moment. So, and Timothy Dalton had his 2 films. So, there's a lot of things to like, but there are a few things not to like. And to be a true Bond fan, you have to just, decide for yourself and watch the films on your own, and then make your call.
It's messed up that arguably the best song. It's messed up that arguably the very best song and the very best movie have the very most obscure Bond.
Which one was your favorite, T?
I have a thing for On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the one with Lazenby. There's just something about it. The theme song
because it had
ass.
Right? Yeah.
First of all, the theme song kicks fucking ass. Second of all, Telly Savalas is from Queens, so what better Blofeld than someone from New York? I thought that it really made it seem like he got his criminal organization under control. I didn't like the fact that, they dropped the whole Belgian thing to make him from New York. I thought he always should have been from New York, but at least they got it right at the end. And the bobsled fight sequence was great. And I think a few Olympians died in that bobsled course. That thing was changed.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll tell you something, T. This is what I found.
No, 1 second.
Go ahead.
To Drew's point, No Time to Die cost $250 million. Gross 774.
Yeah.
Compare that to Russia with Love, with a budget of $2 million and gross $79 million.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're going from a little over 3 times the money from Russia with Love had almost 40 times.
And what's Bond getting, right? Like Roger Moore, they're like, we'll give you $4 million to do 4 movies. Like,
hey, he didn't get a lot in residuals. even when he died, he didn't get a lot of residuals, Roger Moore. So
he doesn't own James Bond.
Roger Moore he was not in No Time to Die, was he, the Roger Moore?
No, that was Daniel Craig. We were just talking about the early Roger Moore stuff, like when he started with Live and Let Die and went all the way.
Live and Let Die. Great McCartney song, by the way. That was my favorite.
Oh yeah, Paul McCartney and Wings, yeah.
Hey,
but you know what,
I just wanted to say that Teague and I are like brothers in Bond, because I love On Her Majesty's Secret Service too. Like, that's one of my favorite Bond films, man. I love that film.
Well, you know what?
It seems like when we hang out here, we have things in common. I think it was the Bad Company on the other channel that we were hanging out on. Sometimes it was having us adversarial.
Yeah. I agree. We had some bad
things
blood,
are much more genteel here.
Maybe like 6 months, year ago, but that's long under the bridge, right? So yeah.
I appreciated when I talked to you about it. You were upfront about just being like, "Hey, I might have been wrong." That was great. I was like, "All right, he's cool."
Well,
Yeah, I was going to say Teague and PvP. Okay, Teague and PvP. Let me ask you
right to each other like men. What a fucking crazy idea, right?
Mano a mano.
Yeah, right.
No,
what a crazy idea. It worked out fine.
Hey guys, let me ask you a question.
I don't do you guys really get the shit that On Her Majesty's gets over the years? Like, I always thought Lazenby was fine in that movie.
Film. No, it's not a bad film, and I never said that to anyone. No, it's a good film. I like it.
Diana Rigg might be really moving the movie along more because she's so beautiful and she's kind of the center of attention in the movie.
And intelligent as hell too.
She's doing a great job, and this movie's got a really good soundtrack, a sweeping cinematography, really good locations. That's one of their better movies in every other aspect too.
Okay, Teague and PvP, let me ask you this question, okay? Now, did you know that before they decided to go with a non-artist opening like that, just go instrumental, which is a great opening, of course. But did you know that the actual song that would have been the opening for that movie was Louis Armstrong's All the Time in the World? That would have been the Bond film song.
That would have kind of been too much pre-shadowing, though, right? It would have kind of given away the ending, would it not, Mikey?
I kind of agree, yeah. But I mean, you know what? The thing is, they made up for it at the end of No Time to Die.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a spoiler. They made up for it, and Broccoli finally got smart after all those years and said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe we should go ahead and play All the Time in the World at the end of that film."
You know, I did get that when the last Daniel Craig film when they played that, but I was gritting my teeth because I did not like that movie. For several reasons.
Okay,
but yeah, I think Majesty's it's got to be in my top 5 Bond films, if not in the top 2 or 3. I think it's a fabulous movie.
So what would you think, PvP, if they decided not to do that instrumental for the film? If they decided to do Louis Armstrong's song to open the film after the opening sequence and stuff, would you have still liked it then? That's what my question was.
Well, I'm sure I wouldn't have hated it, but I think it would have been a mistake. I think they made a wise choice putting it right at the end credits because it made more sense. Let's put it this way. We just saw Diana Rigg get killed, bullet in her head at the end of the movie. And then they play the end credits. We have all the time in the world. And oh my God.
Yeah, it was ironic.
Is your heart not breaking when, he's holding her corpse and crying, just go.
And she was shot in the head.
He says we have all the time in the world, right? And then
some of the best acting of any James Bond ever. Yeah. We've never seen any other James Bond lose a companion chick like that.
Well, that's very sad. Lose a wife, like that's rip your heart out stuff, right? Like I love the ending of that film. Like that's probably what's my favorite because it's got so much emotional depth to it. And I mean, as much as I love Bond, let's face it, guys. A lot of the time, there's some Bond films that are like popcorn movies. You go and have a great time, and it's really good. And I mean, I love all the guys that have played Bond, but sometimes the stories aren't as deep as it could be. But anyway, I'm motor mouthing. Sorry.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, but I got a jet. Something came up. I have to go beat up my I have to go beat up my neighbor, and then I have to go by the cash machine and beat up a few people. You know me. I live a very violent life. It was great to see all you guys. I just got to go on my way to my kitchen. I have to stop and carve my name into the wall of my apartment once again because I am Latino. This is my channel. I'm a nihilistic piece of garbage. I've lost my mind a long time ago, and sometimes I talk about Star Trek. And I'll be back. I'll have my revenge. I love you guys.
Don't get arrested. Don't get arrested.
Yeah,
don't tell me what to do.
He has to make money somehow, Deej.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'll leave you guys this one. When you say don't get arrested, I'm Latino, but I'm white.
Oh God.
Well, Admiral, just don't forget to take the hammer with you, okay?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know what? I have to say I'll go and say it. My 3 favorite theme songs from Bond, actually. The first one, obviously, is my friend who I knew for a little while from Soundgarden, Chris Cornell with "You Know My Name." That, from Casino Royale is great song. I'd say the next one probably would be "A View to a Kill" because I like Duran Duran and great stuff. And then I'd say number 3 is probably tied. I really grew up, in the time of Shirley Bassey, and Goldfinger is the standard. It set the bar for other, male and female musicians and artists to step up their game. And I would also say tied with that. Let's see, Goldfinger. Yeah, I would say that Paul McCartney and Wings, "Live and Let Die" would be tied with that for 3rd for me. So yeah, those 4, absolutely. Yeah. They set the bar really high with those 4 songs, in my honest opinion. I think, for each of the Bond stints.
I think overall, the franchise of the films has had a pretty high bar when it comes to the theme music on most films. I mean, there's been a few clunkers overall, but overall, I think it's they've been pretty good, right?
No, the song Vogue never appeared in Bond there, Gap. Good try, though. Deej, I have to say, best named Bond character, definitely Pussy Galore. Yes. I would say so.
Yeah.
Or you could go with Holly Goodhead from Moonraker.
You gotta love.
You could also go with Xenia Onatopp from GoldenEye. There's a few of them.
Don't you just love the double entendres they got away with back in those days? Like,
oh, for sure.
It makes me sad that young people. Young kids growing up they'll never get that in a Bond movie growing up today, will they? I mean, I feel sorry for young folks. I really do.
They're not going to be getting any Bond movies. They'll have bastardized representation that Amazon puts out, but
it could be
not
dead.
Going to be Bond.
The franchise kind of died when I saw the last film. I didn't like it. I was a big Daniel Craig fan too. Like I loved the earlier films. Like I thought they were all good, really good. Well, what was the one? Oh shit. Anyway, continue, guys.
Well, I like Skyfall. Skyfall. I have to say, I'd have to say if you want me to pick the 3 best ones or the best one out of the 5, I'd definitely say Skyfall because it had Sir Albert Finney, and I was like, damn, yeah, like playing the curator of his so-called house.
Was that Sir Albert's last performance? I'm guessing.
Yeah, that was Sir Albert Finney's last performance. Yeah, it was.
God, I love that man. Like I remember some of his films in the 70s, and he was a fabulous actor, like a great actor. Never got the recognition though, did he? You never got the recognition.
Deej. Yeah, she was a tiny little Swedish gal, which had the big, her hair done up in rolls. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
There's still that controversy. Did she have braces? Remember that, you guys?
Yeah, there was that controversy. That's true.
Yeah.
Could have been a mouth guard.
I thought she was really cute, though. I got to say, I would have dated her.
Yeah, that gave you hope, Deej. I hope it did. Yeah.
Oh, she was cute as hell. Like,
hey, Dog Meat, Alt Universe.
Welcome,
hey.
Dog Meat.
Hello, doggy. D. Odyssey. Yeah, we all were back then. We all said,
they are available.
Yeah,
they want to get out of Sweden right now because Sweden hasn't been going too well.
No, not
yeah. They only cost you about $1,500. More around there.
Well, you need to import them.
I could afford
that import taxes are just a little bit higher.
That's a Deej.
Are they cheaper importing to Canada? I'm just asking for a friend, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or
by about 5 times on that.
I would mind a hot little Swedish dream girl, to be honest. But,
or better yet, just try a Ukrainian woman, see if they want to get out as soon as possible too.
Oh no, they're getting sent to the front lines too now. I thought
I just want Mystique.
My first girlfriend was a Ukrainian descent, and she was a basket case. So yeah, I'm not going back there anytime soon.
Yeah, no, but
that's the fallout.
Yeah, they're starting to send the women to the front lines. Also, I thought it was bad enough when they sent the guy with the Down syndrome because you know what his job is going to be. Hey, stick your head up and see if you can see anything.
It's not that uncommon though. There's a lot of armed forces that have, like, Canada's had females. We've had female combat troops for decades now.
Yeah, but
we actually lost.
They're not drafted. They're not drafted.
We actually lost one female combatant in Afghanistan a couple decades ago, and you know, she was highly honored. But we do have female combat troops.
They're volunteers, not drafted.
No. Well, they probably are, but well, we don't have conscription anyway. For fuck's sakes, in Canada,
you guys don't have a selective service or a draft. You guys don't have selectives. You guys don't have to sign up for a selective service or a draft.
No. I know there's European. I knew a couple of people from Norway when I was at our school, and they had to do, I think, 12 months of selective service, like mandatory. But we've never had that in Canada. No. You have to be, well, during World War II, I think there was conscription because my father got conscripted, come to think of it, and did his basic training, and he was 2 weeks away from being sent across the Atlantic to Britain to go and fight, and then the war ended, thank God.
I thought every country had that because, like, as soon as I turned 18, I got a letter in the mail saying either you sign this piece of paper saying you're going to go fight our bankers' war, or we'll put you in jail.
Well, Gorilla, it probably wasn't just a notification for the man pool to say if they ever do reinstate the draft, they could draft you into the military for basic.
But you have to give them your basic info.
Oh God,
I'm sure you got that when you turned 18, Dan.
Yeah, but I forgot about it. I may have tossed it out already years ago.
Don't admit that the government's still going to come after you for that.
Hey, if you did not sign up, that's you can go to jail for that. I believe I still got 3 more years before I'm not eligible.
And hello, Bosco.
Unless I really screw up. Hey, Bosco.
Yeah, let's get PvP laid. That is a hell of a road trip movie right there. We drag them down to Reno.
I've been to Reno a couple of times. Actually, I did get laid in Reno many years ago.
Wow.
Not going into any details.
Did you get laid or laid out?
Well, she was definitely on top of me, and I definitely got laid. So I'm not.
Okay, so she was real. Okay,
it's okay, Deej. You can be the sequel movie.
By the way, I actually gambled on the nickel machines and won $350 playing the nickel machines too.
Wow, that's not bad.
It was a fucking good holiday. Yeah, I hit a couple of jackpots when I was down there. So yeah, well, including the lady, that would be the third jackpot. I guess.
My wife Suzanne came close when we went down. The last time we went down to Niagara Falls, and we went gambling for the one and only time. She won close to $300 on the same kind of nickel slots. So,
nice. That's the way I used to play them. Because I'd set a $20 limit every day when I was there, right? $20 gambling, that's it. The rest will go on like booze or whatever, party time. And I'd always make my money back if, every time, because, people that are playing those dollar slots must be crazy, I think. Like, because you can go broke.
Yeah, I don't see a point of why people are spending that much money, unless you have that money to lose. But
oh yeah, if I was a millionaire, I guess,
I think those people are rare. Yeah.
Well, the thing is too, Mikey, I could play the nickel slots for like an hour for like $5 or whatever, and the cute little hostess chicks would come around with their little tray of free drinks, and they'd be constantly trying to get you hammered, right? Because that's what they do.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm just like, I love it though. I was like, okay, give me free drinks, and I'm just going to keep playing nickels and making money, and you keep giving me free drinks, and God, you're cute. I had a great time. That was a great weekend, I gotta say, Mikey.
Yeah, I mean,
Reno is the ugly sister of Vegas, but Reno is not bad. Reno is a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, I have to say here's the unfortunate thing with the state of Hawaii, and I've been there twice now. Every time you come off the plane, they got the ladies, they give you the lays and stuff down there.
They want to lay you.
Yeah, they want to lay you, but I mean, they all look great. They're not like fat, slobby, oversized Hawaiian ladies that are crawling around or something. I mean, these are decent looking ladies, but I mean, they could be, at the time. I mean, I said, damn, this one could be my daughter, or this could be my cousin, or I didn't want to have impure thoughts. No, I was like, no, I'm not. Yeah, thank you for the lace. Thank you. I'm out of the airport now. Thank you, though.
Well, there's a difference between not wanting impure thoughts and having them, though, Mikey.
Yeah, right. Gap was saying you made it rain in Reno. Yeah. No, I'm just saying PvP. He said you made it rain in Reno.
It was fun. I had a great time. Like, I was only there for like 3 or 4 days.
Teach, that's trip. Not lame. That's just being selective. I'm not complaining about getting laid. Yeah. It's selective, not complaining. Just being selective. I'm persnickety. I'm picky. I have a great life now. I was very picky. Yeah. So
I'm not like an easy date or anything, but sometimes
none of them should be.
It just seems right, when it's like everything comes together in the universe, and you're like, okay, let's do it,
Well, I'm happy with the lady
like Al Bundy.
You know what? Somebody compared me to that.
I do not sell shoes.
Yeah, I don't sell shoes either. But somebody said that Suzanne and I reminded them of Al and Peg Bundy, and I'm like, no.
I don't see that.
No.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either. But somebody said that to me in a chat today. It's like, no, that's not true.
I just wanted to mention the James Bond theme in Skyfall is pretty awesome, is it not?
Yeah, you know what?
I believe
it's been on my mind.
Adele?
It's a good one, man. It's a good one.
Yeah, you know what's been on my mind, like I said lately, is
that was the one by that was Adele, right? And I think Adele just nailed
Adele.
It.
Yeah, she did Skyfall. Yeah, Adele. Well, and then Sam Smith did the other one.
The follow up.
The Spectre. Yeah.
Spectre. I
the writing on the wall. The writing on the wall. That was the next.
I actually enjoyed Spectre. I don't understand the hate it gets. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was action packed. There was a lot of good stunts, a lot of good scenes.
And I think Christoph Waltz did a decent Blofeld. Yeah, of course, I'm a little partial since I'd seen Donald Pleasance and Telly Savalas and Charles Gray play it.
Telly will always be my Blofeld, but I didn't think the film deserved the hate it got because people hated that film, and I saw it in the theater and I thought, this is fucking good. I enjoyed it. I don't know,
Well, don't forget, all 5 movies I found out were a running arc. So every movie ran into the next one. Exactly. That's what the Daniel Craig movies were all about. It was one continuous story arc.
Exactly. And I thought that was that was the strong point up until the final film. And I think I liked all 5. Well, the first 4 films I enjoyed, and then the last one, I think it had too many writers, too many different visions. Because there was that one chick halfway through that was kicking ass really good.
Jefferson Darcy.
She should have been. She was like in it 15 minutes. She should have been the entire movie because that would have made it a great movie.
Yes.
But that was the first Bond film that I walked out of the theater that night. I was totally depressed. I was depressed as hell. I was like, "Oh God, man!"
Hey,
Shifty.
Yeah, you're not too far from that, Shifty. I have to say, yeah, Skyfall is great. View to a Kill is awesome. Like I said, I love Goldfinger, and I love Live and Let Die. So I mean, because they have some vibrancy in it. That's the whole thing. Like even when, like for example, when you had For Your Eyes Only, and that was the one and only time you saw the singer, which was Sheena Easton, and I'm like, but this is still dull and boring. I mean, Sheena's a good singer. Let's not be too hasty. But at the same time, you're like, why are you standing there singing the song and all this Bond stuff, the effects and everything going on behind you, from Maurice Jarre and everything. And I'm like, why are you doing that? I had a problem with that one.
I think Sheena was absolutely hot sizzling eye candy, so that
Well, that's what she was, eye candy.
I like that theme though. I thought Sheena did a good job.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it was no. I'm not saying it's not a bad theme. I'm just saying that it doesn't make sense for her to appear there. Let her sing it, but don't.
I put it in the middle. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's a good theme.
Dog meat. If you're still interested, you can reach me there, and we can discuss getting you up here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit picky, Gap. Sorry.
I'm picky too. That's why I'm so single. That's why I'm single, because I'm way too picky. By the way,
I love live cereal.
I was out doing my last pre-holiday chores today, and man, I was driving down the road and I saw a woman with the most perfect butt I've ever seen. It was like beautifully round and perfect. And I don't even know why I'm talking about this actually. That's nothing to do with one, but it's just like, oh my God. You ever see a woman when you see her and it's like, you are a dream goddess. You are my dream girl times 5.
You can't touch her.
If I could actually be with you, I'd be the happiest man on planet Earth. But of course I won't.
I gotta say something. I gotta say something. Can you guys still hear me?
Hello.
Sure.
Listen, guys, I want you to think about this for a second. Only the human race can take something as beautiful as an ass, which we all know what comes from an ass, and for some reason we have this idea of a beauty version of something like an ass.
Hey, wait, what are you going on about?
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be disgusting here, but like when I was, when my puberty was kicking in, the very last fucking thing I was thinking about was how hot someone's asshole was.
Oh.
No. Not her asshole, her ass cheeks.
But the ass leads to the asshole. That's like saying your lips lead to your mouth. I mean,
what is what's next to the asshole is her pussy. And that's what I was thinking
that's on the other side of the quadrant. I mean, that's Voyager side of the quadrant.
I once had a friend say, "Why does a woman's asshole have to be so close to her pussy?" And I was like, "I don't know, buddy. God, I don't know."
Is Deej allowed to say that about you, LDG?
I get what LDG is saying. Actually,
like seriously.
I just think it's the whole package, right? The whole package. If it's beautifully shaped, it looks like a sculpture by Michelangelo.
But then
I can appreciate it.
Yeah, but then it got bigger. So like now, big asses are even better. Like I don't get it.
Not to me. Sorry.
All right, just a sec. Before we go on with this.
I don't appreciate it. Hey! So every time we say asses, is girl gonna take a shot?
Yeah, You mean TNA?
No, wait this
we don't want to know this.
I don't even know where this comment
don't need
comes
this
from.
information, Deej.
What's
Yeah,
the
this
drinking?
is TMI.
What's the drinking word there?
Yeah, we don't need to know that, Deej. Please.
I mean, I have to set up some Egyptian. You know how the Egyptians used to like, deflect like light into like these dark tunnels. Like I would need some kind of like mirror system just so I could be able to do what Deej is suggesting.
I talked about a woman's perfect ass, and now I'm hearing about Egyptian light. Okay, I'm good with
that. Well, PvP, that's called a bubble butt.
And we got a new guest with us. Hey, Dog Meat.
Hey, Dog Meat. Yeah. What's up, man?
Hey, Dog Meat.
Hi, everyone. Just popping in and catching up on things.
Hey, Dog Meat, is that a chupacabra on your avatar?
No, it's me and a power armor, which you can find in the game now.
Oh, okay.
And that's funny. Is that a chupacabra? No, that's me.
No, like I actually have power armor in the game now.
I know it's Dog Meat, okay, but I was just commenting on the avatar there, Deej. Jeez, don't scream at me.
Where does the username come from? How did you get the name Dog Meat? I got to ask this. I'm sorry.
I did not lose my nerd card.
Is that
the name is from Fallout. It's the dog companion in Fallout that has been in the game since the first one, I think.
Okay, the Fallout game. I haven't played that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Resolute Germ, can you show Gap's comment before Odysseys? Because I want LG to read this.
I'm not even behind my computer. You gotta make me come all the way back just to read this.
You're gonna want to read this.
You're gonna make me work for this.
Oh my gosh!
Right, let's see here.
You gotta read that, LDG.
Could be a view to a what? LDG's ass could be a view to a kill. What does that
mean? I think that means your ass is not particularly attractive.
Hey,
let's be honest. Any of our asses would be a view to kill.
Hey,
I'll tell you, there's no way anybody's ever going to see my ass anytime soon. I'll tell you that.
Hey, I can tell you, I have a great ass because whenever I get done talking to people and I turn and walk away, I always hear, "What an ass!"
You hear that all the time? Oh, well, there you go.
I just gotta tell you, girl, that's not about your physical attributes. I'm sorry to disillusion you, buddy.
Hey, Joe, check Twitter.
All right.
Oh Lord!
Of course, he would kill me. It's Commander Cobra.
Well, okay, I have to say it's a cool-looking dog from Fallout. Okay, but like I said, unfortunately, I've never played the video game. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to play the game. Jeez,
I played Doom in the day though.
I'm just a YouTuber like the rest of you. I just happen to be using a name.
Yep. And I did play GoldenEye. I didn't.
Anyway, Mikey, you probably know me better as Doom Squirrel. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But there's many reasons I don't want to use that on here because.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
I may as well go with something that's copyright neutral than something that could get us all in trouble.
In Power Armor and Sanctuary. Okay, Deej. Deej knows more about it than I do, so okay.
Yeah. But unfortunately we have to wrap up now. Sorry I didn't get to stay up longer, Dog Meat, but you're welcome to come up next time.
I just came in to just join in the conversation. I wasn't expecting to be here for long anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me in, Germ, by the way, because I don't think me and you have met properly, so thank you.
No, it's good to meet you.
Yeah, well, thanks for dropping in there, Dog Meat.
Dog Meat.
It's always good to get more people on the channel here,
I think we've met before, PvP.
Gosh, I don't remember you. It might have been, but I meet so many. Yeah, it could be. I meet so many people I lose track after a while, but you know.
And I've definitely met Sci-Fi Sith before. Everybody else except for Mikey's Sci-Fi and PvP, I don't know, but yeah, thanks for having me here, and don't let me interrupt your show any further.
We're gonna shut down here, and we're gonna head over to Gorilla's channel for Cringe Doc.
By the way, I just want to quickly mention, I know you're doing Pretty Little Maids tonight, Gorilla, in a few minutes. I hope Joe will join us, but I know she was very upset when I tweeted her last night about Clobby's unfortunate sudden passing. Yeah, that was. Oh, I felt so bad last night. I was in a funk last night myself. Like, I didn't know Clobby like Jill did. Like Jill, was very close to him, and I just had a. But I feel so bad for Jill. I texted her last night and I said, Jill, if you need, reach out if you need, to chat. And she was like, thank you. You're a good friend. But she, she hasn't. I'm sure she's grieving. So I wish she would have joined us on Gorilla's movie night. I don't know if she will. I just wanted to mention that.
I honestly wish that I had a chance to talk to Clobby. He sounded like a cool guy.
He was a very intelligent, I don't think I've ever known anybody that had the knowledge
I like that his voice very much suited the whole Grimm persona. Like, he picked his character well.
Hey, Jim.
Great guy.
Hey, Jim.
He was a very knowledgeable guy.
Just Jim. Coming in at the end, Jim. We're all heading over to Gorilla's first Cringe Doc. Here's the link for Cringe Doc. Where are we watching tonight, Gorilla?
Pretty Maids all in a row. It's a Gene Roddenberry production.
Okay. So
anyway, I'll drop out and let you finish your show. Thanks for having me here, and maybe in the future I'll be around a little bit longer.
Dogmeat.
I hope you can be.
Dogmeat, you want to get some self-promotion if you have any?
I do have a tiny little channel, but it's somewhere. I keep forgetting the damn name of it.
You gotta look it up now.
I wish I could, but the app that I'm on is not allowing me to open YouTube at the same time as this. Blame the Pit Boy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right,
but we're gonna cut off right now.
Basically, just look me up on X, and then you'll eventually find the channel. Like, I'm just Dogmeat on X. It's just at Dogmeat. And then you'll find the channel. It should be attached.
Yeah, everyone has a YouTube channel.
Goodbye, and thank you again, Germ. We'll maybe speak more.
I'm gonna head over to Gorilla right now, guys.
Yeah, let's all head over to Gorillas right now. Follow the link and tell them it's a germ raid. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.